This building is a new home for the college, bringing together all of their 6,000 staff and students in one place for the first time in their 150-year history.
The site is located in the heart of Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, and I think it's one of the most exciting sites on the park.
The building is one of a group of 4 cultural buildings right on the eastern edge of the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park.
And form the East Bank programme, which is fundamentally about bringing top-flight quality culture and education institutions to Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park.
It was the product of the legacy master plan for the park that came after the Games, and our practice has been working on this site for 20 years.
In putting together the brief, it was a unique opportunity for the London College of Fashion to bring together 6 disparate sites into a single site.
Covering a whole range of disciplines from across the fashion industry.
As well as physically accommodating them, actually what the brief was asking us to do was to work out how could all of those people feel at home here.
That combination of doing that within this 16-storey building was something which at the beginning probably seemed a very ambitious aim, but actually as one worked through it and as you now see the building, you can see that that is in a sense what's been achieved here.
There's no doubt the biggest challenge that we faced was accommodating what is nearly 40,000 square metres of building on a site that's only 60 by 60 metres. That inevitably generated a response that was what we termed a vertical campus, a connected and interconnected space where anybody within the college could occupy and was welcome at any time.
Within this square plan, there would be a volume in the centre of the space which would both act on any one floor as a kind of courtyard which all the spaces faced towards, but also in 3 dimensions across the height of the building would be the route through which everybody could move. There are a series of voids and staircases so that you can indeed walk through the height of the building, all 16 floors, all the way through in the centre of the plan. That space became called the heart space, but it wasn't an atrium. It isn't always roof lit. It gains light from the side.
All of the central heart spaces in the building sort of act as design ateliers really, and there's always a sight line down to the next floor and the next discipline. There's that opportunity for students who wouldn't normally collaborate, come together, share ideas.
But the idea that you could see into every classroom and every workshop space was transformative in terms of giving all the students the ability to see everything going on in the building. But also it does offer this extraordinary phenomenon whereby from the centre of the plan you see through the spaces and then you see out into the landscape beyond or the sky. The building has a very, very limited palette of materials. So it uses concrete, it uses timber, maple, and it uses black metal.
Concrete is one of those materials that is debated hotly in the architectural world with respect to its embodied carbon. Here we've used it as both primary structure but also as the internal finish. So where possible we've minimised linings and any other applied surfaces so that the structure performs multiple tasks.
It's a really clean, comfortable and warm environment for students and academics.
And that was a deliberate decision because we felt that in a building for a college of fashion, one thing we knew about is that there would be a huge amount of life and colour coming from the work and from the students.
The whole idea here is that the students can use the building as their canvas.
The work of the students, and in fact the students themselves, creates this incredible depth of colour within the building.
It's wonderful when you see a building just taken over in that way by the people using it, and that it has that potential to just be occupied in a very open and loose way.
What I enjoy about this building is it does meet all those sustainability credentials that we were particularly focused on.
We have a very sustainable building, and we're delighted to have achieved a BREEAM Outstanding, exceeding targets with respect to embodied and operational carbon. And I suppose, almost more importantly, really using the land available here, inspired, I suppose, by the warehouses and mill buildings that we looked at as we were designing the building. It was the density of occupation and the use of the land as efficiently as we possibly could that I think really makes a sustainable building here.
The building, we hope, will be here and still acting as London College of Fashion for another 100 years.
I hope it will, and I'm confident it will continue to inspire generations of young people to learn and innovate and create.
Ultimately, this project is the result of an enormous team effort, from designers to contractors to the client bodies. And I'm delighted that we've got to the end of a 10-year-long process and are all still talking to each other. We're all very proud of what we've achieved.
And there are many, many, many collaborators on this project. And I think that collaboration was exciting. It was complex, but it was complex for the right reasons. You know, we needed to get this building right. The building is porous to level 3, and it's an important factor for the building to both connect with its context, but also connect with members of the public.
I think if you come here as any member of the public, as it were, and you come and see the building when it's full of students, it's hard not to just find it thrilling. There is something about the intensity of the use of the building which is really, really unusual, and hard not to be touched by it, really.